Winds, rain and snowfall have caused disruptions, especially in the south coast. In the past 2 days, KZN faced level 2 and 4 alerts for severe weather. The conditions have ripped through parts of the province, leaving hundreds homeless. A report into the investigation of a plane crash that claimed the lives of 3 students in KwaZulu-Natal is expected to be finalized in 30 days. 2 planes, which formed part of a formation 3 planes from Durban to Pretoria, went missing last Sunday afternoon. They were found around the Greytown area on Monday. Student pilots Ngobile Biela, Lulama Msane and medical student Sipesihle Buthelezi died when the plane crashed into a bushy terrain after diverting to refuel in Greytown. Provincial Transport Department spokesperson Dabezinhle Sibia.
He has stressed that we are fully aware that post-mortem examinations of the victims by trained pathologists will be critical in terms of highlighting conservative factors, crash injuries and survival factors.
A fine Thursday in store for Gauteng along with morning fog patches tomorrow. Joburg will drop to overnight lows of 3 degrees, peaking at highs of 16 degrees. Dominic Machola, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High-dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Taylor, what's he say? It's a really good ball. It's Shabalala! Goal! Bafana! Bafana! Goal for South Africa! Goal for all Africa!
It was amazing, I mean, to see people coming together, you know. The streets were always full and, I couldn't believe myself that this was what was happening in South Africa, but it was just beautiful.
This is the welcome for South Africa and France. These Bafana players need the unified performance of their lives today to have any hopes of sneaking into the last 16. This World Cup goes from bad to worse for France. Poorly delivered, not away conclusively though, and Mpela! 2-0 for South Africa. South Africa have a win as the hosts.
I made millions of South Africans happy, and I united the nation with that goal.
Freedom, give you fire, give you reason.
I believe I'll be a world champion that I'm in the world.
Kasajanai has started
The PFL Light Heavyweight Champion.
Jessica is in Alberton. Jessica, good evening. You're a lover of MMA, I can tell you.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Oh man, what a beautiful celebration as we threw back there to the 11th of June 2010. Where were you when Idumle Nkune, Gaxa, Mukwena, Kumalo, Twala, Shabalala, Dikhatri, as well as Litulunyane, Modise, Pinar and Mpela walked onto the FNB Stadium to play against Mexico in times and places where we never ever thought we would dream this big? Well, our guest tonight has dreamt even bigger than that. We look forward to chatting to Percy Tau tonight. Comments, questions, anything that you would love to have, please keep it locked. It is Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go!
The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
right, so 2 wickets have tumbled there. South Africa playing at Lords is an important one, so we'll have to see. Maybe the middle order batsman might come through and rescue the situation. But if you missed out on what happened earlier on, the South African fast bowler Kagiso Rabada, he became the second bowler to pick a 5-wicket haul in a World Test Championship in the final during the WTC Summit Clash against Australia at Lords in London early on today. Well, Rabada finished with figures of 5 wickets off 51 balls in 15.4 overs as Australia were bowled out for 212 after South Africa elected to bowl on the opening day. Now, the only other bowler, though, to have a fiver under his belt in the WTC final contest is Kiwi pacer, that is Kylie Jamieson, who picked 5 for 31 against India in Southampton back in 2021. Now, the 30-year-old pacer made early inroads by nabbing Usman Khawaja as well as Cameron Green in the 7th over of the match. He then cleaned up, though, Australia's tail after the tea break, dismissing skipper Pat Cummins, Bo Webster, as well as Mitchell Starc in quick succession. He was brilliant with those as the defending champions lost its last 5 wickets in just 20 runs. Though, with 332 wickets, Rabada is only behind Dale Steyn, Sean Pollock, as well as Makayantini on the list of the most test caps and scalps, though, by South African. Unbelievable. 332 wickets. And that's just firmly behind Dale Steyn, Sean Pollock, Makayandini on that list of the most test scalps by a South African. Isn't that remarkable? And I think a lot of people were doubting his input at some point. I don't know how. Remember, we had Shukri. Shukri Conrad was here in studio just before they departed for the UK. And these were his words on KG.
Robert, coming back to the KG issue, I was very comfortable with the way the whole process was handled. KG is not just the player, he's a global superstar. And he understands that, yes, it's going to be tough, but again, when we err, we deal with it, we own it. And for me, it's quite simple, man. Let he without sin cast the first stone, KG owns his cock-up that he made. He's confronting and he's dealing with it.
All right, now that's a proper coach who knows how to deal with all sorts of situations. And good luck, though, to the Proteas. We'll keep a firm eye on the proceedings as you safely navigate your way back home or off to work, whichever way it is. And that is why I said early on, we are exactly 1 year away from June 11. It could be the greatest World Cup in history that is set to begin. Exactly 365 days to the FIFA World Cup 26. Now, this monumental event will, for the very first time ever, bring together 48 national teams and mark the end of a wait that has lasted 3 years, 5 months, and 21 days since Lionel Messi, as well as the Argentinian national team, lifted that trophy in Qatar 2022. Now, the 2026 edition is expected to attract 6.5 million fans to the stadiums across the continent, uniting people from around the globe through football. And here's the message that came through from FIFA President Gianni Infantino.
The impact of this tournament will be profound and long-lasting. A FIFA World Cup always inspires young people, but in 26, we are going even further by creating real pathways for the next generation. The scale of investment and visibility will accelerate grassroots programs, boost infrastructure, and inspire young players to dream bigger. Our aim is not just to organize a tournament, it's to give something meaningful to every host city and every community. It's to make this World Cup eternal in the lives that it touches. When a child in Vancouver or Guadalajara or Atlanta chooses to kick a ball because of what they saw in 2026, that's the true legacy. That's when football or soccer wins. The United States represents one of the greatest frontiers for football, a country with the scale, the diversity, and the passion to take the game to new heights. We want to make soccer mainstream in the United States, not just a youth sport, but something people follow throughout their lives because they love it. Our ambition is to see football right there alongside American football, basketball, baseball, and ice hockey as part of the national sports conversation. The momentum is already building, and that moment will happen in exactly 1 year from now, when the world arrives for the biggest FIFA World Cup ever. Football, or soccer, has been knocking on the door in the United States, and in 2026, get ready, it walks right in.
A man that's selling the world's biggest sporting event. Now, next year's tournament will feature 104 games, an increase, though, from the 64 games held from 1998 to 2022. Now, all 11 U.S. stadiums are NFL venues that offer profitable luxury suites and also club seating. Additionally, this will be the first World Cup organized by FIFA without the involvement of a local organizing committee.
Yes, the 1994 FIFA World Cup was a game changer. It planted the seed for MLS and ignited a passion that has grown stronger every year since then. Today, the MLS is indeed one of the fastest growing leagues in the world, expanding its footprint with new teams, state-of-the-art stadiums, and some of the best international talents and homegrown stars. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will accelerate this momentum, inspiring millions, boosting investment and creating a lasting legacy that will help football or soccer to flourish from the grassroots to the professional level. In 1994, the FIFA World Cup planted the seeds. In 2026, we will see the harvest, a football ecosystem that is ready to explode onto the global stage. Every team has a home team in Canada. From Argentina to Japan, from Iran to New Zealand, Canada is one of the most diverse countries in the world. Canadians from coast to coast will proudly wear heritage on their sleeve with a maple leaf over their hearts. Football is the most played team sport in Canada and the most accessible both to play and to be a fan. The FIFA World Cup being in Canada will highlight all of that and will also provide a great development platform for our sport all across the country.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I believe I'll be a world champion. That'll mean the world to me.
Kasajinai has done it! The PFL Light Heavyweight Champion!
And also live here in studio, Justin Tinsley, Director of PFL Africa, the visionary who is leading this historic chapter forward. How are you feeling and what's led to us being here?
We're super excited to bring this incredible sport that's growing so fast to the continent and provide an ecosystem for the sport here on the continent so fighters can be on their journey. They don't have to go to Europe. They don't have to go to the US. They can do it, from their home country.
What's inspired the launch of PFL Africa?
The launch was really kind of, let's say, fast-tracked by our chairman of PFL Africa, Francis Ngannou, to make sure that there's a league on the continent, Pan-African, in which the best of the best can compete.
With the wheel kick knockout!
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Well, to personally say that I have not been waiting for this moment for a long time would be an absolute lie. I have. He's been a very busy man. He's been out of the radar. And I understand, when you are successful and everybody around the world wants you, that's exactly what happens. I mean, get ready for an electrifying, spine-tingling, goosebump-inducing encounter with a football legend. I mean, he's still playing, but we can even call him that right now because whatever he's done, he's been able to achieve more than most. I mean, from the humble streets of the then Witbank, Emalahleni, to the grandest of stages, though, on the planet, this is a story of a simple warrior, undaunted, unstoppable, unapologetically South African. I mean, he's the Lion of Judah, after all. Roaring, pride, relentless in pursuit, and also celebrated across the continents. Now, this isn't just an interview, ladies and gentlemen. It's the unfolding saga of blood, sweat, sacrifice, and a great deal of triumph. He's been a young dreamer who defied the odds, shattered the barriers, rose to greatness, and that is why tonight we're going to be diving deeper into the heart and soul of a champion. The man who dazzled in Mamelodi, conquered in Belgium, now reigns supreme with the almighty Al Ali. I mean, we reveal the untold stories, the heartbreak. Talk about the ecstasy, the defining moments that forged the legacy. And yes, we're going to ask the questions that keep the football world on edge. Is there going to be an earth-shaking move on the horizon for Percy Tau? We want the truth, we want the passion, inspiration, we want the journey as it continues. And I just said to him off air that we have a lie detector test on the microphone. So anytime anything that he says is not on board, it's going to make a loud noise in your car or wherever you are. Former Sundowns, Brighton and Hove, Albion and Al Ali player, and so many more other teams. I try to summarize it, Baba, because your history already is too long. But firstly, on a human level, so good to see you.
No, thank you for having me. It's nice being back home. And then, yeah.
Tell me about it being nice. Why is it nice? Why is it not nice to be somewhere in the world right now?
No, I've missed it. I've missed being home.
Yeah.
I've missed the food. I've missed the people. And then, yeah, I've missed my mom. And yeah, being around. I mean, it's a familiar place for me.
Yeah.
So, and then I've been busy. So now that I've got time, I get to explore a little bit of other things that I missed out in all those years that I've been away. And yeah, that's what makes it nice being home.
What's that first meal you asked for when you got home? Because you say you missed the food.
The first thing, what was it? I think it was pap and beef.
Pap and beef.
Yeah, and vors, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a put of vors has got to be there.
Yeah, something there, so yeah.
So in Qatar, there's no version of pap there?
No, I don't cook there. I don't cook. I think there's a shop, South African one.
Yeah.
But then it's not the same. I've never even went. Yeah, never.
At all?
At all.
So when you arrive in the country now that you've missed so much, and this tag of being a free agent or free, is that the word they use, eh? Is that a space that in recent years Percy Tau is not familiar with?
Yes, that's true.
How does it feel?
It's different. It's the first time that it happens, but then I expected it to happen. And yeah, now it just gives me an opportunity to do a lot of things back home. See my mom, spend some time, take the kids to school. And yeah, I mean, I've missed this life, to just be home. But then now on the other side of things, I have to start planning what's next for me. And yeah, that's where I am right now, just enjoying this time that I'm not used to. And yeah, seeing what I do, just keeping fit, also looking at what I want to improve. And yeah, that's what I'm busy with right now.
And I think when I put out the Twitter post earlier on, it was difficult for me to find the exact description of how to introduce you to everybody that's watching the show right now on YouTube. And when you talk about training, it then takes me back to the words of your former coach and the person that you admire a great deal, who's Pitso Msimane, the doc. And back then you said and described you, and I quote here, that you're top level, top class, different culture, different mentality, and you train by yourself, end quote. You've just said that now, that you're not aligned with any team, but training remains that one thing that is uppermost for you.
Yeah, it helps me so much. I think throughout my career, even now, I'm still trying to train a lot. Of course, when the season is on, it's difficult to do a lot of individual training. But now that I've got time, I try and do things that I wanted to improve, and I could not do them because of the schedule was hectic. And it's really important for me to keep training, to try and not get back with a belly.
I don't think you and Mkaba know each other, so so that is impossible. You might have been still waiting over there. I did make mention of this important date, the 11th of June, 2010. So we are now 365 days away from a World Cup again in the Americas. And simply because we'll carry on about it later, though, but I have to take a break. But I need a yes or no. Do you believe that Percy Tau will be on that plane to America for the World Cup?
Yes.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Smart Steve from Momentum. Hello.
Stevie, my bro, it's me, Clinton Myers, the Minister of National Treasures.
Good afternoon, Mr. Minister. How can Momentum Insure help you?
You know, most Momentum car insurance protects the people better than a windbreaker in Cape Town.
That's true, Mr. Minister.
Listen, this no VAT economy is not helping with the cost of maintaining my gusheshe, my tires, man.
So why don't you drive lacquer and earn lacquer with Momentum Insure's safety return?
Smart Steve! Now you are a national treasure.
Also, Momentum Insure rewards you with up to 30% cash back on your paid premiums, even if you claim.
Yarane, my lighty. Is it true?
It's true, Bob, Mr. Clint Mayers. In this economy, this cashback will go a long way.
Lekker man, Steve Bobo.
Visit momentum.co.za to get a quote. Momentum Insure, keeping you safe on your journey to success. Momentum Insure is an authorized non-life insurer and FSP. Standard SMS rates and T's and C's apply. FSP 22789.
McDonald's Deal Drop has landed this June. One tap can change everything. Start each week on a high with a new set of offers available exclusively on the McDonald's app. Satisfy your cravings by enjoying your favorite products for less. Plus, earn loyalty points each time you scan the app. Don't miss out. Download the McDonald's app today. T's and C's apply.
Probably needed a hug, but decided to buy the Renault Kwid instead. Hear me out. Listening to moody songs on the infotainment system that seamlessly connects to my phone via Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. While sitting in the perfectly cushioned driver's seat with the light streaming through the open windows, kinda feels like a hug anyway. And for only $1,999 per month. Come on.
Get the stylish, SUV-inspired Renault Kwid for only $1,999 per month. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. T's and C's apply.
Bring out the star in you with Lotto Star's exclusive Real Rush Privé games. Spin the reels now to turn your into woohoo with Mystic Fortune Deluxe Privé, Golden Unicorn Deluxe Privé, Hot Fruit Privé, Tyco Beats Privé, and many more. You could win payouts of up to 40 million rand on our Real Rush games instantly. Lotto Star, your world of live games. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
The Bucky Bonanza is in 2 years and I'm only getting my rewards in 4 years. My Bucky won't be ready.
4 years, bro?
Yeah.
I'm with MyWay and I will be getting my cash back in just 2 years.
What?
My Bucky will have all the accessories. No yada yada.
Introducing My Cashback from MyWay. Stay claim-free for just 2 years and get 10% of your premiums back to live your way. Go to myway.co.za and get a quote today. My Cashback is a feature on qualifying products paid after 2 claim-free years and all premiums paid. MyWay is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
A big finish for Al Qahtani on home soil.
Let me go live now to New York, and that is where you got Peter Murray, PFL CEO, coming through live from the United States and New York. Peter, I mean, what resources, though, as well as support will PFL provide to ensure that fighters have got what we call a pathway to international success?
PFL Africa is Africa's MMA league. It's established on the continent. As I mentioned, we have fighters across 14 countries competing. The events will be staged in Africa, as we touched on. We're really excited. So we're committing. We're putting resources in place to develop the fighters, support their training and their competition. Our vision that MMA and PFL is the preferred property to be a top 3 sport across the continent, and that's absolutely feasible.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
All right, the life, the times, the journey, the return of a soldier, South Africa's finest football player, finest export as well, so many other things in between. Just briefly, though, because I think you connecting with South Africans has been a long time coming, and I picked up on, the Witbank, Emalahleni story, is that when you begin in that way, you study, you graduate, you get BCom, maybe you've got more now, you'll tell us about that because I know studying is your second hobby. You go to parts of the world that you probably never dreamed or imagined, whether you're going to Brighton and Hove, Albion, then you go on loan, and then You go from Royal, and you move, but you play UEFA Champions League, you play Europa League, and. What have been the most defining moments for you in this journey as the bigger stage just kept on opening bigger and wider for you?
At Royal St.
Yeah.
Because, it was just a life of hope, hoping that one day I'll get to the EPL. And then the first step to Europe, which was something that I wanted. And that was my home for that year. So yes, that was the most defining moment for me, and also getting the culture of Europe and how they do things. And then, because at first it was, I'm going to Brighton Hove, then now I cannot get the work permit. Then now, that does disturb a little bit. You get disappointed. But when I go to Union, they welcome me so well. And then, we had a great season there. And it all set it up for me for the next few years. It's either Bruges or Anderlecht, even with Brighton. But the first year was very important for me. And then it shaped the whole thing for me.
Did you understand, though, because the guy who owns Brighton and Hove, Tony Bloom,
yes,
he's the majority shareholder at Royal.
Yes.
And when he made the shift for you to get more regular game time, but also try to get his team promoted as well, were you in sync? Were you understanding?
He used to come even watch our games.
Yeah.
And because I was the only Brighton player there, so I would have engagements with him. And he was happy with how I've adapted with everything, because now here's a player from the EPL playing second division. But then how does he behave? Does he fight? Does he give his everything? And how is he with the other players? And then he found out that everything was just myself, trying to work hard, trying to win. And then I get along with the guys. And he loved it. He loved it. Even when I left Brighton, he told me, if you ever want to come back to Europe, if you are doing something in South Africa, you need our help, please reach out. Because of that first year that I had with Union. And then, we tried to get promoted. We didn't. But then look at them now.
Unstoppable, pretty much. And we'll quickly talk about some of maybe the what was seen as downs from a South African perspective, though, because playing in the Premier League, I won't put words into your mouth, but if I had to just start a sentence and say playing in the Premier League means what, requires what?
No, playing in the Premier League means so much to all of us, because as footballers, it's the league that we see and it excites us.
Yeah.
And then we feel like it's a league where you can go test yourself. And then what also it requires a lot of hard work. Because there's not much training in the Premier League. The games are more intense, so it's a lot of recovery, which is something that affected me when I was there. I'm a guy who prefers the training because that's where I prove myself. Sure. And then I find that we get an off we play on a Saturday, off Sunday, off Monday, train Tuesday, off Wednesday, Thursday, and you go play.
What?
Yeah.
So when you're off, you do what?
We try and gym. I go to the club again, try and train on my own. But then I'm living in Hove. There's no extra pitch. When you go around, you're looking for parks. It's not the same. You can't train in the park when you play for the biggest team in there. So it was difficult for me to do a lot of extra training. So I could only use the club facility. And it's different there. Sometimes you want to be a different space. You don't want to go there where most of the time you're like a Shanghai. So you want a different place where you can train and actually enjoy yourself. So that's what I was faced with.
But then when does the coach then make a decision to say, well, I've seen an improvement in Percy, let me bring him into the first team, let me start him this time around, as opposed to bring him off as an impact player coming off the bench? So if you're having, like you say, you would train on a Wednesday, then maybe the next 2 days is an off day, and then he's got to make a decision then as to who to start and who to bench. From what you worked out, how does it get to that point?
No, when you look at our position, we're fighting a relegation. So you try and keep the same squad. So you're not going to change much. And that's what I was faced with. Even you can do well at training, do well in those games that you come in. The next game you feel is, I have to play the same squad. So that was my situation. I mean, I would play well, come in, give an assist, do well for the team defensively and offensive, hoping that the next game I will play. And then he says, no, Percy, you're on the bench.
Sure.
And then when you're on the bench, you're hoping, right, I'll get in. But then now we get a 1-0. He wants to close the shop and then...
And you're not a closing shop.
No,
type
I'm
of
not
player.
that guy. So you'd go for a defensive person to try and, okay, let's keep the 1-0 and then we survive relegation.
Is that frustrating you at the time, though?
Yeah, it was. It was. And then I tried many times speaking to the coach. So, coach, I need to play. And then, like I said, we're playing relegation. We're fighting for relegation. So you would say to me, yeah, but then Trosan is doing well. I'm like, yeah, he's doing well because he's getting so many opportunities. At least let me get some opportunities also and you can really rate me. And that's when I stayed. The following season I stayed. I did not go for the Olympics. Tried to impress the coach.
Yeah.
And then I do well in the friendlies. The last friendly match before the Premier League, the guys were at the Euros. So they come back. He changes the team. I was hoping I'm going to start. And then he plays Trossard and I'm on the bench again. I'm like, I can't have this again.
So what's going through your mind at that stage, though? Because, number one, you're not getting a fair chance. You're not getting a chance to compete. And you're being left out for whatever reasons that he feels he needs to leave you out for. Maybe also unfamiliar with you. But how do you become familiar with you if you're not being played? Are those conversations painful to have with him? Are they conversations that maybe he feels he doesn't want to have with you?
No, those were conversations that I was having with myself. Yeah. What do I do? I mean, the situation is not changing. I can't keep staying on the bench. And then, yes, it's the Premier League. But then I'm not just going to suffer because I'm in the Premier League. I want to play. That's when I went to Ali because of that. The biggest thing was for me to play. And yes, I did have the conversations with the coach. But then I was not playing. And then the contract issue came up also.
Yeah.
When I was at Union, they promised me a contract. And when I was there, because now I understand them though, because now I'm not playing, then they're holding back on that contract talk.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, I understand. Okay, I need to move.
But not out of regret though, but out of missing top football, because I mean, we would sit and we watch you play UEFA Champions League at the highest levels and at the biggest stadiums around the world. And you're playing for a club that seemingly to many people is just a smaller club. And it's proven time and time again that it's not, because it's always in the Champions League.
Yes.
It is always competing. And then Percy Tau was there starting those games. Did you maybe just rewind a little bit and say, but Brighton, you're never going to get to the UEFA Champions League. I've just come from playing there. Might have been a team that's dubbed Smolanyana, but you proved a lot to a lot of people then.
Yes, and then for me it was difficult because I was coming from Club Brugge. We were playing for Champions League. And then I go to Brighton. We are fighting relegation. But then I knew that situation before. But it was just difficult to have it. I mean, I've never played for teams that were fighting for relegation, and now I had to do it. But I also understand the other top teams there, it's difficult to go play for. And I was fine with it because the impression that I had with myself first, it was I'll work hard and then try and move to other clubs. But then I could not have the opportunity to play. So, yeah.
Having to depart from Premier League, to Percy Tau, that means what in life? Because you've been there, you've played. Not a lot of South Africans have been and smelt the Premier League. And that is why we could always just count them. We get up to 10 maybe in modern times football, and that's where it ends. So you knowing that now, you exit, you're going to come back to the African continent, but you're also not just coming back to the African continent, you're coming back to a top team, one of the best, and they know Champions League as far as CAF is concerned. What's the thought pattern for you? Is it a dip in terms of motivation? Or
No.
Describe that for me.
For me, at first, the plan was go back, get game time, and come back. That was the whole thought process. Then I come back, I get so many injuries. Then now it disturbs the whole plan.
Yeah.
So now I have to end up staying my whole contract at Ali. But then the plan was come back, play, and go back. Why I did not go to the other clubs in Europe is because now when they know I want to leave, they change their terms. So now they offer less.
Sure.
So because now they understand the situation, it's no longer the same. So the teams that I've played for, what they were paying me when they knew I want to come to them now, they were offering me less. So now that changed the whole thing. And then I came back home to Africa and play, hoping that I'll get back to Europe. Then I got so many injuries. And then it just...
What's your current injury status?
No, I'm not injured. I'm okay.
Clean bill of health?
No, clear.
Yeah.
Last time I had an injury was at early with my hamstring. But then, since then I've been okay.
So if you had to join a team tomorrow, they take you for a medical, you would pass flying colours? Easy one. Okay.
Evening, Bob Marawa, and evening, MSW shareholders at the rope. You had one of the greatest exports we ever had in our country. I mean, from Mamelodi Sundowns, Belgium, to Brighton and Hall of Albion, playing in the Champions League. I think Percy Tau had stellar career over the years. The only thing that we only want to know from him is that what are the future prospects for him? As things stands, has he had any hope of playing go PSL, or perhaps he has some other ideas elsewhere? Is there any proposals at his disposal at the moment? Is there any team that has just tabled an offer to him? And then the other thing is that what are his highs and lows of his career over the years? What has he learned from there? Yes. Then great show to you, Tarop. As usual, Patrick here.
Hey, Patrick, thank you so much indeed. Let's shoot straight to it, though, because we're creeping closer to another break. And thanks, everybody that's watching on the YouTube channel. Lots of questions that are coming through. I just picked up one, Gantlani Pofihlela, asking about where you enjoyed your football the most, but we'll come back to that. Let's deal with Patrick. I think the most asked question that I'm looking at right now, be it Twitter, be it on the YouTube channel, be it on various social media platforms, is what's next for you? What team? Is it South African? Is it North African? Is it elsewhere?
No, there's still more from me.
Yeah.
I still feel I can still play and then contribute to any club. And I'm willing to listen to any proposals. We'll see where I end up choosing. But anyways, I'm willing to listen. I'm not going to be prejudged.
Sure.
We'll see, I'll go here or there. But anyways, I'll listen that I'm free agent now. I can listen. And I will see where next. We'll see it's either South Africa or the North, or again, we go to Qatar or Saudi or wherever. Can be also be Belgium. But then I'll see.
And again, to put this out of the way, now that you're back home and you're an honest man, well, the last time we spoke, you were, I don't know if jet lag from weeks ago is still affecting you, but has Kaizer Chiefs approached you?
No.
Has Orlando Pirates approached you?
No.
Has Stellenbosch approached you?
No.
Has Sundowns asked you to come back?
No.
Are you retired from Bafana Bafana?
No.
Would you want to come back?
I'm still with Bafana Bafana.
Do you interact with the coaches, the technical team? They give the impression that they communicate with some of their senior players. Is that something that happens? I mean, are you hopeful that with the upsurge of all these young players that we've seen playing in the last two matches, especially minus all the Sundowns players that are in the FIFA Club World Cup, you imagine yourself back in the fold and contributing to the national team cause?
I still feel I can contribute to the country. Yes, there are performances that put doubts or questions, but then that does not make you a bad player at all. And it does not change who I am. My name will never change, Sal Percy. And then I always try and give my best. Yes, there are players that are doing well, but then you want to only have the younger ones only in the national team and take all the other ones. And then football is a sport where there's phases.
Yeah.
You'll have your lows, you'll have your highs. But then now, do we kick him out when he's having his low? So, I mean, I don't feel that should be the approach. Because at the end now, we're going to have a problem with what it means to play for the national team. And we don't want that to happen to anyone where they now starting to feel different about going to the national team. But I support when I'm doing well.
Sure.
So I would feel it should always be balanced. You want to have the younger ones, you also want to have the older ones. And I mean, by the way, I'm still 31 years, so the questions should not make me like, I'm 38 years right now. So
I mean, don't worry.
So
there was a 40-year-old man who was lifting
a trophy
yes. just the other day,
yes.
and still playing the best football that we can ever see. But also with the coach that is very hard-headed, who never listened to the noise to say, shift him out. He's the negative energy within the Portuguese national team. And he stayed on, scored the vital equalizer. They went on to a penalty shootout and they won. You know, so there's always hope and there's belief, and that is why I'm saying to you guys, don't go anywhere. Percy Tau in studio.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
You work hard for your business. Why work even harder to fund it? At Lula, we've streamlined our funding process by cutting down paperwork and eliminating collateral to give you up to 5 million rand in as little as 24 hours. To us, it's not just about fast funding. It's about offering a business class experience to the people that build South Africa, one transaction at a time. Apply today and experience business class banking and funding at lula.co.za.
They say good things come in threes, but great things? That's Spur's Big 3 combo. Get 200 grams of juicy pork ribs, a tender chicken thigh, and 125 grams of vors, served with golden chips and Spur-style crispy onion rings, all for just $149.90. Only at a Spur near you till 22 June. Spur, people with a taste for life. T's and C's apply.
Dear Journal, adulting, day 3,700 and whatever. Just bought a bunch of supplements I can't pronounce to try and fix my sleep schedule. What a game changer. So chuffed I spotted them when I was doom scrolling at 11:53 p.m.
Finally learning about mental health. Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's convenient and like 19 Rand a day, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
Oh my word, Natasha. Girl, I just got my nails done, and guess who I saw with insufficient airtime?
Air for flair with juicy gossip to share? Trust Air Mobile to help get you there. You can stay ahead of the curve with Air Mobile's auto top-up feature and make free air-to-air calls. That means you can catch up with your Air Mobile friends or call grandma like you promised without worrying about the bill. Airmobile.co.za. Seriously different. T's and C's apply.
Natasha? Natasha, are you even listening?
I forgot to fix the roof after the hailstorm, so my wife said.
Jerry, I asked you to fix this last weekend already, but since you didn't, I got Flash Harry.
And how does this make you feel?
Like there's another man invading my house.
No, man. Flash Harry is actually the expert in DIY waterproofing solutions with a track record since 1975.
Seriously?
Yes, and it's available in all good hardware stores. Flash Harry, it just works. Unlike some husbands. Find your nearest stockist at flashharry.co.za.
Telljoy's turning 56 and you get the gifts. Rent now and own later with no upfront costs. Enjoy flexible month-to-month rentals, free delivery and maintenance with risk cover, all included. Celebrate with big birthday deals on DeFi, Skyworth, Samsung, Medea and Beko. Need to cancel, upgrade or downgrade your product? No problem. It's all on your terms. Hassle and stress-free. Rent smart and live easy. Visit telljoy.co.za today.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I believe I'll be a world champion. That'll mean the world to me.
Kasajidai has done it! The PFL Light Heavyweight Champion!
And also live here in studio, Justin Tinsley, Director of PFL Africa, the visionary who is leading this historic chapter forward. How are you feeling and what's led to us being here?
We're super excited to bring this incredible sport that's growing so fast to the continent and provide an ecosystem for the sport here on the continent, so fighters can be on their journey. They don't have to go to Europe. They don't have to go to the US. They can do it, from their home country.
What's inspired the launch of PFL Africa?
The launch was really kind of, let's say, fast-tracked by our chairman of PFL Africa, Francis Ngannou, to make sure that there's a league on the continent, Pan-African, in which the best of the best can compete.
With the wheel kick knockout!
#MSW. #MSW.
Good evening, Marawa, and good evening to the legendary Percy Tau. I'd like to know his next destination, Marawa. Is he willing to play here at home, or he is willing to play abroad, continue there outside the country? And also the level of professionalism between Egypt, Qatar, and South Africa, if he can rate these countries, their leagues, where we are as South Africa. And also, last one, all the best, Lion of Judah. Choose wise, my brother. I wish you all the best. But I think Kaizer Chiefs need you the most. I'm a Sundowns fan, although. Thank you. This is true love from Eskawini. But I know that you wish to play at the CAF Champions League as well. But all the best, my brother.
Hi, Rob. This is Tomiati. Rob, what a player. What a player you have there. I only have two questions for Percy. I remember the difficult time he endured at Brighton and Hove. How did it affect him that the coach chose not to play him? Because it's not like he was not fitting in that squad, but the coach chose not to play him. How did it feel to him as a player not to be selected for close to the entire stay he had in England? And the other question is, after Pizzo left Al Ahly, it seemed like it took a big chunk of energy from him. How did he handle that one?
Hi, Rob. This is Andrew from Rodipot. Rob, maybe a bit of a controversial question to Tau. Did he feel that the players that he played with at Brighton, they were in support of him being in the team, particularly a player called Trossard, the one that's currently playing for Arsenal? I'm asking this question because on a consistent basis, week in and week out, I watched Brighton and I felt that Trossard was very selfish, and in some instances would not really share a ball with Tau. He would really try hard not to give a ball to Tau. Even in instances where Tau was free and he could have scored, Trossard would not share the ball with him. I would like to get Tau's views on this one, Rob. Andrew from Rodipot.
Hi, Rob. I'm so excited today. You have Percy Tau. I have always been a fan of Percy's. We went to the same high school. We went to Clapham High School, and I've always been a fan behind his work. I really love his work, and I'm really looking forward and would like to know where to from now. What's happening with him?
Well, I think that's the most asked question anywhere around the world, the continent, as well as the country. If you're watching, you're listening right now, Percy Tau is my guest. Hey, even former schoolmates are phoning through, hey, wanting to know what's your next move.
Yeah.
How much time are you giving yourself? Your former coach, a man that respects you a great deal, a man who says that when you come and visit him in the country, the first thing you do out of respect is remove your cap, and he respects you for that, is Rulani Mokwena. When I asked him again, a similar type of question of how much time he's giving himself, because like you, no club affiliation right now. And he worked it out, 8 weeks until this, and which gives him 2 weeks to make an announcement. Should we expect an announcement within the next 2 weeks from you?
It's going to be a difficult one. I've never been to this position before, so it's my first time. And I also understand that clubs may deal with this mess differently. Some will wait, some will be quick. Some will be quick to speak to me. Some may take some time to see. Because now the beginning power chiefs, the longer it takes, the less power I will have. But we'll see. I think most seasons start in August. So there's time, but I'm never used to this. So then I'm also rushing.
You have to.
I'm also rushing, Rocky. I want to know where I'm going.
Because
now I brought all my bags, so now I have to prepare again to take those bags again. So I'm rushing.
But where are you taking them to when you're already in Gauteng?
like I say, we'll see. Gauteng may not be the place. Gauteng may be the place. So I'm not gonna sit here and behave like I've got too many options.
But Gauteng also offers in one position CAF Champions League football. And I know you love that.
Yeah, but Gauteng is to give the offer, you know.
What if Gauteng is waiting to hear?
Yes, I'll listen when there's offers. I'll listen to his offers. I'm not ruling out anywhere. Of course, there's a lot to take in, to consider.
Yeah.
You also have to consider the age, how long is the contract, and then family. So like right now, I cannot go to Korea. That's an example.
Sure.
Yeah.
Too far.
It's too far now. Traveling with the kids to Korea is too far.
But Saudi, Qatar,
these are
it's
closer.
doable.
Yes, it's doable.
And lucrative as well.
Yes.
Because a lot of players choose to do that. If people feel Sadio Mane has disappeared from the playing scene, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
Because he'll still be called up for
Yes,
national
national
team.
yes.
He'll still play. He'll still be visible. Do you feel the same way, or do you feel like Hugo Broos, like you said before, that certain players should have never left their clubs because either they'll go to the USA, they'll play in the MLS, but they won't get game time, which then makes them lose out on their national team and their appearances within the national team. Do you feel maybe that those are some of the considerations that you have to apply so that Percy Tau remains pretty visible to everybody at this stage?
Look, I don't feel the location should always change. It's the type of football that you're going to, the intensity. And then if you're still the same person, if you're still the same player with no injuries, you should always be considered. But of course, a lot of people have got their own opinions. And then the coach, Umtalana, he's got his own opinions. So sometimes they're about me, you know.
But what do you make of Hugo Broos?
I think he's a great coach. He's a great leader. And then he's someone that wants good for the country. And then sometimes he says the truth very hard. And we're like, hey, coach, come, you know, sometimes it's better when you cut this thing and you speak to us nicely. But then as players, we also understand him. And then I think now as a country, we're also understanding him, what he's trying to say and what he wants from us and how he sees us. But then at first, when you come hard on us like that, then yeah, it comes across not nice.
Has he said something where you felt, coach, what are you saying?
A lot of times.
Yeah.
And then I've engaged with him about that.
What stands out?
It was these issues of Ali, when there was just so many reporting from Ali. One of those were like I was having depression, mentally going for therapy, and he also came and spoke out about that. And I'm like, coach, I feel mental issue is a serious issue. We shouldn't take it lightly. If you were to engage about that, don't take it from the outside. At least speak to me and engage with me. Ask me, Pace, are you really struggling? What's happening? Because now when you read about it from the media, it loses its value. And whereby mental health is a serious issue. And I'm not going through that. So it's what I was dealing with in Egypt, where there was just so much media and then a lot of reporting. 90% was incorrect. The 10% was when I'm on the pitch. Either we lose or have assisted or I scored. That was correct. But the rest of the things, they were just people making it up. And then, of course, now the coach is in South Africa and he reads these things and he cares about the player and he wants to engage. And then he speaks out. And I'm like, but the approach should be, let's speak at least on the phone so that you understand that I've got no mental issue. It's just these people who are reporting and I cannot go every time and reply to them. I mean, I still have to play football. But anyways, that was one that stands out.
Yeah, because I mean, somebody like Lyle Foster had something similar, but he constantly was chosen by the coach. Just look there. You see that guy?
Yes, Vincent.
Vincent Company. That was the chap that coached you at Anderlecht.
Yeah.
And you have a good relationship with him, don't you?
We do. I mean, he believes in what I was doing, go Anderlecht, and then he loved me as a person. And then he wished me well. He gave me so much advice, what to do in the EPL and what to do on the first day.
Yeah.
And then I'm also proud that I was coached by him. When you look at it today, how his journey went from Anderlecht to Burnley to Bayern, and then doing so well in the Champions League. So, yeah.
How close were you to going to Burnley and be coached by him?
Not close.
He didn't want you that side? You
no,
didn't approach?
we were different at that time. Where was I? I was at Ali.
Yeah.
I was at Ali and he was in the... No, we're different parts.
But you would have wanted that level. I mean, like you say, Bundesliga champion right now. People were saying that he relegated Burnley. So when you go with that mentality, then you are capable of achieving nothing.
Nothing. Yes.
But he showed
yes.
a different side to say, I'm actually Vincent Kompany.
Yes.
I'm somebody that led my national team, led Man City to many victories. Give me a team that I can coach, and I will. And he did. Trossard, a lot is said about him and his negative energy towards you. Was it something you felt? Was it something intentional?
I don't know. I've always heard people, even when I was in Brighton, mentioning this. But then I did not pay so much attention to it because I wanted to play. That was the whole thing about me. My focus was just on trying to impress the coach and trying to play. And then you see the respect and the love that I got to the players. Some of them will ask me, why are you not playing? Even when I left, I remember I spoke to Adam Lallana. When I left, I told him I'm making a decision to leave Brighton to go to Ali. He was shocked. I was like, why are you doing that? At least go somewhere else. Then I gave him the reasons. I'm like, it's not an easy decision. I spent time on it, and I realized that I'm not going to win here. And at the end, I don't want to lose myself in this situation. I don't want to be staying here just for getting paid. And also, I just don't want to stay here because I'm in the Premier League. I mean, I'm on the last year of my contract.
Yeah.
Should anything happen right now, it's gonna be very disturbing to my career. And then, so I never paid so much attention to it. All I wanted to do was to play. And then we played together, I think, the City game when he came on, or they took me out. I don't remember. But then we're in the similar position. So me and him, of course, there'll be competition.
Yeah.
But then I would have just loved it to be given more chances to prove myself. Because it's not like I did not feel I belonged there, or that I feel there was a gap between myself and them. It was just a different coach that gave me some time to play.
I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't have this conversation with the team. How much extra time did you play in your time in football? Did you ever play referee's optional time? Did you play extra time?
Yeah, I do have extra time.
You don't mind hanging around with us?
No.
If the team agrees, I don't know. They're looking at me now saying, oh no, not again. I do apologize.
No go with your plans.
Should we carry on? We should? You're happy? These thumbs up all round? Okay. I got an amazing team, Shema. I owe them 2 goats, a sheep, and a couple of other things as well because, my goodness, you can't let go when there's such good quality. And I'm looking at the YouTube channel, and I think more people are watching Percy Tau right now than watching anything else. Is the Bold and the Beautiful still on? No, that doesn't. Yeah, but they would have been watching that back in those days. There's an important question though that I would love to have. So you heard it, guys. I negotiated live on there. We hadn't spoken about this with the team, so we'll do it 30 minutes. 30 minutes is okay, no? It's 15 minutes of extra time. So we'll manage that, nothing more than that. Constitutional first, and this is the question we'll pick up on after 7. It says, ask him whether our social media noise made things worse for him or not when he was playing for Brighton and Hove. We were not quiet when he was being benched unfairly. And my goodness, did South Africans go to that page of Brighton and Hove and make the noise loud? So when we come back, we'll answer that question, whether or not Nina Basemzansi, you made things uncomfortable for Percy Tau. Whether or not it was true, I don't know. But right now, though, as I say, keep it locked on the YouTube channel. We'll continue with Percy Tau. Umuzilo. You can tune in again tomorrow for Marawa Sports Worldwide. Probably brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW. Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
A big finish for Al Qahtani on home soil.
Let me go live now to New York, and that is where you got Peter Murray, PFL CEO, coming through live from the United States and New York. Peter, I mean, what resources, though, as well as support will PFL provide to ensure that fighters have got what we call a pathway to international success?
PFL Africa is Africa's MMA league. It's established on the continent. As I mentioned, we have fighters across 14 countries competing. The events will be staged in Africa, as we touched on. We're really excited. So we're committing. We're putting resources in place to develop the fighters, support their training and their competition. Our vision that MMA and PFL is the preferred property to be a top 3 sport across the continent, and that's absolutely feasible.
#MSW. #MSW.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to Percy Tau. Rob, Percy Tau is one of the greatest that we've ever produced in this country, one of the successful DDC products, and amongst his accolades, if I'm not mistaken, with the Club World Cup starting soon, he is the only South African to score at the Club World Cup for a South African club. And my question to you, Percy Tau, is that having played locally and abroad in Belgium, England, Egypt, and Qatar, at which of these countries were you mentally tested? And how was your relationship with Graham Potter at Brighton? Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome to Extra Time, guys. Thank you very much indeed, all of you watching across the country, the continent, or the world. It is Percy Tau who is my guest here tonight as we take it into 30 minutes of Extra Time. Thanks for joining with us. And you heard that question, Percy, thanks to you as well for agreeing to this. I think just the volume of calls, the volume of WhatsApp voice notes, questions on the YouTube channel, it would have been very unkind for me to be brutally honest with you, but it is your permission that you've granted us that I do thank you for. I don't take that for granted. You heard Tebogo's question. How do you respond to that? Yeah, I think he brought a lot of which country mentally tested you the most?
It was Egypt.
Egypt?
Yeah, it was Egypt.
Tell me why, though, because I want to zoom into North Africa after you answer.
Because of the support that the people in Cairo have for their club, and how social media can be used as a tool to push things that are not true. There was a situation where I came from the national team, so we went back to Cairo, we had a Champions League game, I think against a team from Ghana. So they told me, you'll be rested for this one, you'll come on as a sub. So okay, because of the traveling.
Yeah.
Then after I came on, we played that game. And after I had a chat with the coach, where the coach was to me, the players that did not play 45 minutes have to run. And he came to me as a sub to say, Percy, you have to go run. I'm like, no, coach. The physical trainer told me I'm not supposed to go run. After a year, I must go because of the traveling and the load that I have. But him insisted. No, you must go run. I'm like, coach, now which information must I take? And then the same thing, as we're having this conversation, people took a video of that. And then finally the physical trainer came and explained to the coach why. Then the coach was like, oh, okay, you can go inside. And then I left. After leaving, then it was Percy Tau refused to train.
Yeah. Without knowing the detail of what the conversation was about.
Because of this, just people taking a video of what was happening. So socially, there was a problem for me there because, a lot of things were just not true.
Yeah.
And then they love their club. So now whenever I'm on the streets, the people asking me questions of people who took that video.
Yeah.
And now the club must impose a fine on me for not refusing to train. I'm like, but the club cannot do that because they know I was not supposed to do an extra running. But then because of the relationship with the fans and the pressure and then what we're doing, it was demanding because nothing was at Ali they don't take anything less than winning. So you can have 7 games, lose 1, it's a big issue.
And it's more than about the league. The league is a given. It's there already. So you can't be coming to Coach Ali and say, I've won the league and think that you're the best coach.
No, you have to win every game that you play. And then you have to win every trophy that you play for. It's either the Club World Cup, Champions League, or it's a cup, the Super Cup.
Super Cup, yeah.
Anything that you participate in, you have to win. So that was like, it was demanding because knowing that I play for the national team and then we travel around and we have to play for Ali. You have a bad game and then but they're like, no, we have to change the players. But you're like, we are tired also. That was one of the reasons also then I felt, okay, I have to go to move to Qatar.
With the overload.
Because it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. We have the AFCON. After the AFCON, I went straight to Champions League in Egypt.
Yeah.
And from AFCON, I was coming from Club World Cup.
Jose Riveiro, he's taken the plunge. He's taken a big leap. He was released early by Orlando Pirates. Took time for Ali to actually unveil him publicly. It was almost the worst kept secret that he's going there, but eventually they did. There's a lot of influence, as you would know, from former players, legends within the team. And already some were mumbling and saying, we should have had a local person take us to the FIFA Club World Cup. You know, in the background of Ali, the people, the fans, the structure, the bit that you saw of Jose Riveiro in South Africa. How do you think he will be received? Yes, he is there. He is at the FIFA Club World Cup. We saw him at the press conference yesterday. But how do you think he'll do, given all of these external pressures?
Yeah, it's gonna require a lot from him because it's totally different. The way he's going is different to South Africa. It's a club with so many fans and passionate. And then they really, really, really love the club so much. And then he has to win every competition that he participates in. But then they've also given him resources. They've signed a lot of good players. So that will help. But then also he has to do better than the previous coach who was there. And it was Kola who was my coach. And he won like 11 trophies with me. And then he has to do better than that. So it's gonna require a lot from him. But then with the talent that they have and the players that they've secured, I think they can push. I think he can push. And given what he has done also for Orlando Pirates, it does say he's a good coach and then he knows what he's doing. And then he was able to actually build a team that was in the semi-final of Champions League this year. So I think he can still do well there. But then it's going to require a lot. It's not only coaching Ali that you have to deal with there. It's not only the games that he has to deal with.
Yeah.
And then we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, I know when you crack that smile, there's something cooking there. To use the cooking words of Jose Riveiro as well. And I listen to you very carefully now. So they've won almost everything else, Ali, that there is possibly to win as a club. If he doesn't win the FIFA Club World Cup, does he survive the chop?
Yes, I think he will. Because remember, sometimes when you have to get rid of the coaches, you have to pay them.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're in a position where they will love to keep the cycle going. They also want to be a stable club. Like we were stable with Coach Kola. So I stayed with him 4 years. Almost all of my contract. I only left the 5 months. And then he stayed his term also until he lost the Champions League. So if he does not do well in the Club World Cup, then it's going to raise so many questions.
But that's the kind of pressure, though, that we're talking about. That's the kind of pressure that says that we've given you the players, we've given you the resources. FIFA have extended, the registration of new players if you've qualified for the FIFA Club World Cup. So it's a case of, then what else do you want? Because we want this. We've qualified for it. It's not the first time. We want the trophy now. And we've brought you here, ended your other stay at Orlando Pirates early so that you can join us early. Do you not think, though, that he's already walking on eggshells in America? The job has not even begun yet in terms of an official game there. But do you believe that he is, though? I mean, that's the kind of and the nature of the job that is in Egypt.
Yeah, in Egypt, it's another world. But then he has to do better at the Club World Cup. And better, I mean, we were there, we took third place 2 times in a row. I think there will be expectations on him to do better than that, or get out of the group. And then if they don't, then there'll be a lot of questions around that. But I also don't think they are quick to make such decisions with him right now to say you can go.
Yeah.
I don't think they make such decisions based on one tournament. It will take some time, maybe. They'll give him more time and see how he does.
Well, we hope so, man. The question that I asked you from Twitter, from Constitution First, who was asking about social media noise that South Africans made. And there was that back and forth, the UK social media people on Twitter, the South Africans who want their Percy Tau to play. And, I mean, we wondered how that makes you feel, how you felt. Was that an issue? Was it discussed? Was it brought to the table that, hey, Percy, what's going on here? Our social media pages being invaded by a lot of your fans?
No, it was never brought to my attention. But then I always say this: you cannot question the love from South Africans. I mean, they should feel free to love their players, whether they play for Brighton or ever. We should feel that you belong to us and we are proud of you, because we don't have so many players. So whenever we have such a player at these top leagues, yes, we're going to love that player. And then we're going to want to see him on the pitch. So it would be unfair for the players and everyone at Brighton to fault South Africans for loving and wanting to see me on the pitch. And which is something that they don't understand, is that we don't have so many players in the APL. We want to see Percy play, and then I want to see myself play. So I've never seen anyone from the club coming to say, hey, Percy, but they are really talking. Yeah, never, no one came. But the players will acknowledge that, hey, Percy, your South Africans, they really love you. I'm like, yes, they really do.
Were they shocked, though?
Yes. Because we didn't have a South African maybe for
a while.
Yeah. So I came in, then they were like, oh, okay, South African. But then now they saw, okay, actually, they really love the player. So, yeah, they were shocked to see that.
Do you remember how many UEFA Champions League games you played at the Bernabeu?
No, it was one game.
Just the one game.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? There was actually a question that came through from, and that is why I'm saying that I think the whole of Africa is watching this. This is from Paul Onyegwebu. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He says, ask Percy, looking at the national team, what does he think he has a future? We've dealt with that. I'm typing from Nigeria. And the Madrid game was also from Paul. Just that experience of knowing that you haven't gone to the Bernabeu as a tourist to take photos of the stadium and the museum. You played there. Not too many South Africans can lay claim to that. Would that be in your top 5 greatest achievements that you can attribute to you?
Yes. Because the Champions League is something that I've always watched and then wanted to be part of. And then I remember when we had the draw of Real Madrid as a club, we were all excited to go and play against them. But it's also great sometimes to go test yourself against Vini Jr. I think it was his early days at the Real Madrid. And then how Modric and all this. Now you are really playing against them and you really test yourself. So we as a club also, we're excited to say, okay, Bruges against Real Madrid in Bernabeu. Let's see how it's going to go. And then I think for us, we did test them.
Yeah.
We tried our best. But then they've got so much experience. How they came back in that game, we do not believe it. But then we tried. We went 2-0 up first half. Then they made some changes. And then Zidane is also a great coach. He made some changes. The way we planned, he changed it after. And it was too late for us to change our plan. And now we can continue hitting them, and also how tactical we can continue defending against them. They made some great changes in that game. I think the biggest was moving Casemiro from his position to number 10. So they moved him from deep there to behind. So it was clever from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did try, and then it's one of those best memories that I have playing for Club Brugge.
Evening, Rob and Lion of Judah. It's Nico here. Lion of Judah, if I may ask, how were you managing playing soccer and also your academics, because it's not easy for young fellows here in Mzansi to manage both. So can you give us some tips on how are you doing both, like doing all those things together and doing them at the best? Tango.
I think that's a brilliant question. Again, I want to quote the great Dr. Pitzum Simane, who says that with your different mentality, you were able to, when you were traveling, especially long distances, playing Champions League, and when he called you your own individual person, he says that Percy Tau would be reading, he would be studying, he would be focusing on a different chapter of his life. Football is his current chapter. Studying is his long-term chapter. So I think the question almost straddles between the two to say, how did you manage your academics and soccer?
Yeah, look, education is very important to me, to my mom. She still wants me to do well in school. I don't know, I've tried that. I will always use the time of traveling as the easy one to study. So the long flight, then it's easy. And then at home also, I always have time because I've got to study. I try and study in the evenings and try and push, so I'll sleep late because of that. And yeah, when I go to camp, sometimes I go to camp. Most of the time I go to camp early, so I've got time to do my work. And even today, I'm still studying. And then,
what are you studying towards now? you got to break it down for us and to us.
No, it's something that you studied. So
you want to become a top dog lawyer?
No, no. But then I'm still studying right now. So yes.
Your studying journey is not going to end, eh? I remember the conversation. Yes. It was one of the PSL games. I think your dreadlocks were still dreading at the time. And we had a long chat, man. And the conversation was about education. And I said, this guy who's showing this potential to be one of the greatest players, we're having a conversation about education and the ability to study. And even then, when you were still making a name for yourself, you were not saying, I want to be famous, I want to be winning this and this at Sundowns, although your actions said that you want to be a winner on the field. So it's those unspoken things that were kind of mentioned at the time where I knew that you were going somewhere academically and you stuck to it. So when I saw you get your degree and you graduated, I was like, okay, now this is the person who keeps their promise to themselves and obviously to your mother.
Yes.
Because education to your mother is key.
Yes.
But jersey number 22 is your dedication to your late brother.
Yes.
And that is why you wear that.
Yes.
Am I correct in saying all of these
things? Yes, you're correct, 100.
Are you representing him well, in your opinion?
I think I am, but I know my brother always demanded so much from me. I remember after the under-20 game we lost to Nigeria, you were so disappointed because he came to watch us in Bombela. It's like, Percy, how can you lose this game? It's your chance going to the World Cup. And then for you now is you left to make it at Sundowns. You left to make it at Sundowns because you had a good chance of going to Europe and all these things before you passed on. That you're supposed to do well in that game against Nigeria so that you qualify and put yourself to the World Cup. So yes, I do think he looks back at me and say, I'm fana guriagawos.
I love that. And you're still going to show him some more though. It's not over yet.
Yes, no, it's not.
It's not over yet.
Yes.
Sure. It's so touching when you know that somebody like you carries a lot on his shoulders, but you do it without complaining much. You do it without flinching. You do it because, I don't know who wired you the way you're wired, but I think the man above has played a very, very important role. You would know that there are 3 stars of the Champions League that you carry within you. 3. I'm not short. I'm not adding. You've got 3 Champions League stars. And you as an individual have got more stars than any collective club in South Africa in the Champions League. I mean, that puts you at a level that I don't even think you've been able to digest. That as an individual, you've achieved more than collective clubs in a professional league setup. How does that make you feel?
I'm proud of my journey. And I still feel like there's more to my journey. But then I just to show all the hard work and the belief and the discipline that I've tried to keep in a lot of things. It's either football or education or discipline with money, all these things. Just shows off everything does pay off if you put in the work and dedicate yourself to something. I love football. And then I'm so obsessed, I think, because winning is so much to me, and I try and do that in everything. Maybe that's why I'm still in school, is because I want to win. I want to get my degree, and I want to do something else, test myself. And yes, these are some of the tests that I do in life, is test myself outside what I know. So I go to school and try and study different things from what I graduated at. And yeah, I'm proud of my career. And then
Vuyo Mere, who was sitting there where you are on Friday, I mean, he had announced his retirement during the week. And he says that it's unfortunate in South Africa that people almost force you. They put an age barrier to you and almost want to strangle you and say, "Usumdala manje, you need to retire." The R word called retirement has not entered your mind in any way.
No.
Too soon?
No, no. It's very soon.
I wanted to hear it from you because at times people do that, unfortunately, in this country.
Yeah, I mean, if they were to force me, then I've got no control over that.
How do they force you, though?
Not signing you. I mean, that would be the only reason. But I always believe in the talent that God has blessed me with. Is that if I train well and I'm injury-free, someone will come for me.
You got a good agent?
Yes, I do.
And how hard are they working right now?
She's working. She does not sleep.
Very silently, though. That's what I'm trying.
Yes. That's how she's always been about things. Yeah. She prefers to lay back and try and control.
Yeah.
Because she's someone that does not like crowd in her space when she makes decisions. She does not make my decisions, but she helps. She contributes to those decisions. And then, she's trying her best right now to listen. And we'll see. With some time, I'm still home right now, so there'll be a time where I'll be calling her a lot and be like, are we having something concrete? Because I don't want to listen to, Usbanban, but back food. No, I want to see something on paper.
What team did you support when you were growing up?
Where?
South Africa.
South Africa, those Chiefs.
Would it be full circle for you to say, I grew up supporting, I'm in the professional ranks, I would like to maybe last couple of seasons of my journey end up at the club that maybe I went and bought a jersey of, I don't know, whichever player. Does that ever cross your mind?
No, but then it will be a situation. If that situation were to happen, of course, I will have to pay attention to it where I've got no club and Chief says to me, come. But then, there's still other clubs in the PSL. I mean, I've played for Sundowns, so I cannot write them off. It's a team that I played for and I've won, and I've got so much love with the team and the fans. So, I mean, it will have to take, if Sundowns were not to offer me a contract and Chiefs does, then okay, it's not my fault. It will be theirs that I've went to go join Chiefs. But then I'll listen to anybody. It does not rule out Orlando Pirates or even Stellenbosch, Supersport. I will not rule out anyone, but then my decision will be based on who gives me a contract.
Yeah.
Of course, Sundowns, they still have my love, but then it will be based on who offers me a contract. Because at the end of the day, I still have to support my family.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm not going to stick around because I love the club.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take any offer, no.
You come back, though, like you should, a more expensive player, because you've earned that in your many journeys internationally. Do you think sometimes people look at that and say, we might not be able to afford him?
Yeah, people might say that, but then it's not. Now that I'm here, I can speak up for myself.
Please do.
I'm very reasonable. So whenever I speak about my contract dealings, and then I've never gotten the first offer in all my contracts because I'm reasonable and I try and be in good faith.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna go and ask something that I know you're not gonna offer me. So I would give an offer.
Yeah, what's reasonable for you in the current market?
I'll give an offer and then the club will say, no, we can't afford this. Then I'll be like, okay, how much can you give me?
Yeah.
And then they'll send me their offer and I'll be like, okay, I can live with this.
Here's a pen and paper. Do you want to put it down?
The writing?
Yeah, in writing.
My handwriting is bad.
It's okay. Just hold on to this, please.
My handwriting is bad.
Yeah, your handwriting is going to improve today.
On paper, I'm just going
yeah, on paper.
This pen is not working.
The pen is working. Oh, the pen is working. About that one, it's not from, I almost mentioned the shop. But yeah, let's see the
pen is not working, and then but I can answer.
But your brain is working, so let's use the brain. Let's forget about the pen and the paper.
It's not a lot. It's something that it's an amount. It depends on the club. I cannot sit here and be like, my first option is
so
this.
Nigerina comes, approaches, you say, I'm a reasonable guy. Here's reasonable. What does reasonable mean?
Come on.
Yeah.
That one, I think my agent has to get involved on that one. But then, yeah.
We're here now, don't worry.
No, the first thing has to go with the club. I always believe the club must give me something.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I can after.
Okay, so I'm the club now.
Yeah.
So I am Kaiser. I, at Nigerina, offer you 450,000 Rand a month. Do you accept?
For how many years?
450,000 Rand.
For how many years?
We signed 2 with an option.
Perfect.
So for 450 a month, Percy Tau becomes taken.
Perfect. Yes.
For 2 years.
Yes.
With an option.
Yes.
Hi, guys, I want to go home now.
Even in Rob, can you please ask Percy, since he was the last big export from our league to Europe, does he have any advice now to give to the current young players? At which age does he personally think that it is the right time to move to Europe? Because of now, we are seeing a lot of young PSL players now who are shining in our league. So which age does he think they must start moving? And which leagues does he think they should go to? Specifically, which leagues?
Yeah, maybe an easy one there because the best player in South Africa right now, according to you, you might not have watched all of their games, but you would have seen and read, in your opinion, who comes out. So I'm not going to talk about Ribeiro because I'm talking about a South African player who's playing here.
No, I've not watched much.
You haven't watched much?
No.
But if you had to give advice to somebody that wants to leave SA, which league around the world would you advise them to go?
Go to a league where you're going to play a lot.
Yeah. Like a Belgium.
Yeah.
Because it gets undermined, but it gives you football.
No, Belgium does export a lot of players to the big clubs. If you come from, you can easily go from Bruges to Arsenal. You can go to Bruges, from Bruges to a good team in Spain. I mean, you can,
Kevin De Bruyne.
You can move from Anderlecht to a good team.
Yeah.
So go to a league where you're going to play a lot because you need that experience. And then they'll also help you develop. So if you're a young player, go to a team that's going to help you develop first.
All right. I think the final question will be a question that's relevant in terms of now.
Evening, Mr. Marawa. Evening to all the shareholders. Tumelo here from Glen Vista. Just a quick one to Mr. Tau Lapo, a great man. We thank him for his service. We hope he comes back to the national team. What I wanted to ask him is that with Sundowns coming or going to the Club World Cup, what's his message to the guys, considering that he's played for us in the Club World Cup? So what does he wish for Sundowns? And it would actually be nice to see him back, but unfortunately life as that it is. What does he wish for Sundowns, or what does he wish for the guys to know going to the Club World Cup? Thank you. Great show as always.
Appreciate it, Baba. Thank you so much indeed. I think it's a fair voice note to end off with because, they're there. FIFA Club World Cup is starting. We've got representation right there. It's not about Sundowns anymore. It's about South Africa, right? What would your message be to them?
First of all, I would like to wish them well. I think it's going to be a great tournament. It's going to test them. And that test will help us a lot as a country, because these are the same players that we're going to mix with us and the other players for the national team. And then, it's going to be a great test for them. And then I think they've got a squad to compete. And I just wish them very well.
We're out of time. We're not out of breath. I'm not going to ask you a question. Anything that you would like to address with South Africans? Maybe something I didn't ask you. There's 10,001 things to ask you. I might not get around it. Is there anything you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to say to South Africans? Sir, you wrap it up.
No, I don't have much to address. All I would like to say is thank you. I mean, I would always appreciate the support and the love that I get from South Africans. Yes, I will try my best to help the national team. And then, sometimes it does happen that the games are not as all we wished for. But then, I don't go on the pitch to try and miss. I always try and go in and to help the team, and we win. And we try and set up a good record for ourselves as a nation. But I'm very happy with the love and support that I get from South Africans, and I just want to say thank you.
I mean, anyone in particular that you want to give the best shout out to at home? The best shout out, you're a father now.
At this time, my kids, they don't pay attention. So, badalama games. So,
yeah. But you know how it is with social media. People are recording, they're putting back onto social media platforms. They will get around to seeing it. I know you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, you're on all of these platforms. So it could end up, and it will be a proud moment to be like, Daddy said.
Nah. They know my love for them. I always try and tell them how much I love them and appreciate them for being there with me throughout my career. And then, I mean, they're young now, but then the sacrifice, I think what they're doing is sacrifice. At some point in their life, they'll be like, oh, actually we sacrifice a part of ourselves for you. And I'll be like, yeah, thank you. So, but then the most important for me is the people, everyone who's been with me throughout my journey. And
well, happy belated birthday for last month.
Yeah.
You're safely in the third floor now.
Got the calendar.
And it's a beautiful thing. It's so beautiful that you'll enjoy it. All I'm saying is that this guy, ladies and gentlemen, 3-time Champions League stars that he has firmly. You can't take that away. He's a guy who has played UEFA Champions League and Europa League. It's not every time that you can get that combination or that achievement from South Africans. This man has, just at Al Ahly itself, won the Champions League twice, won the CAF Super Cup, the Egyptian Premier League, the Egyptian Cup, and the first South African player to win the CAF Interclub Player of the Year in 2023. That was in Morocco. He beat the likes of Shalulile. He beat the likes of Fiston Mayela. Tough one to overcome. And that happened in Marrakesh, in Morocco. Konja, where is the Africa Cup of Nations going to be held?
This one in Morocco.
That's all I got to say. Thank you.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.